Last night he played a very good game on both ends of the court, yes, even offensively. We always know what we're going to get from Jared Vanderbilt on defense. Great point of attack defense, great defensive playmaking ability, not to mention a great defensive rebounder, simply a great rebounding wing in general. But it's not often you get a guy that drops 9 points in 21 minutes, makes a 3-point shot, even makes a few Euro-step layups at the rim and finishes with both hands at the rim. But that's what Jared Vanderbilt was doing out there last night. And like I said, it definitely did attract the attention of JJ Redick, mainly from Laker reporters asking about Jared Vanderbilt to JJ Redick, if he might get more playing time, how he simply feels about Jared Vanderbilt at this point, and if he might have a shot to join the starting lineup. So here's what Redick had to say about him.
You would be among the more qualified people in the world to kind of take us through Vanderbilt's shot, and just it just looks a little cleaner from a layman's perspective, and the release and all that, and just added with how he looks physically and defensively, all the stuff that you know he can do. Does that make you think even a little bit more about, all right, maybe you could find some more minutes for him, or not find, but you almost have to consider?
People are going to earn minutes. I think that goes for everybody. I've been very impressed by just the amount of work that he's done this summer on his game, and obviously his body is significantly better than this time last year, or even when the season ended. He's moving better, his handle is tighter. I'd never have ever seen him make a Euro D-cell finish. It's good. He's been working on his game, and the shot is sort of the big thing with him. If he can be a consistent three-point shooter for us, that unlocks a lot.
Sticking with Vando, he made a corner three. He had another one that he missed, but he gave it a shot to make it. And obviously he filled the stat sheet all over the place. I know you told us you don't really care about the starting lineup, and it's not something that you're spending a ton of time considering. But is there a consideration for him with the starting group?
Again, I said that we started 24 lineups last year. The team that started, or the lineup that started the season for us, started 8 games together, and we made a change. So I'm of course open to things, of course, and like I said, everything's going to have to be earned.
Again, very complimentary about Jared Vanderbilt, his health, how he looks on the court, so on and so forth, even about his offense too. Redick didn't really get to see the best version of Jared Vanderbilt last year. That wasn't his best version, or even close to it in my opinion, neither offensively or especially defensively. Not only that, but he wasn't in the best role that fit him well. Because of the trade they made for Luka Doncic and trading away Anthony Davis, getting a whole lot smaller post-trade deadline, which is kind of the point where Jared Vanderbilt was healthy again. That didn't put him in the best spot within the rotation. Playing more so at the 4 and even the 5 at times to them, playing around the rim on defense, rather than at the point of attack and kind of let loose in defense, and that's the best fit for him in my opinion. But now with him back in a better fitting role for himself, now being a whole lot healthier, being more confident on both ends of the court, Redick is getting to see the best version of Jared Vanderbilt. And well, with that in mind, will it or should it lead to Vanderbilt joining the starting lineup? I mean, like Redick talked about there, it's definitely up for consideration, but it's not a guarantee or anything close to it. Redick guaranteed the starting lineup last year, something he's talked about, and something he's talked about that he changed very quickly thereafter. That lineup only playing 8 games together last season, and them using a combination of 25 different starting lineups last year, so he doesn't want to make that same mistake again. Thinking that he will have a definitive 5-man opening lineup that he'll use for a majority if not the entire season, that's simply not going to work out. Whether a player is up and down offensively, defensively, somebody gets hurt, or whatever it might be, there likely will be changes throughout the entire year. So no, it's not that important to include him quite yet, not that important to have a definitive starting lineup quite yet, but it's definitely good to have options. And well, Jared Vanderbilt is definitely giving him a good option right now. I think we all knew this entering this season, but Vanderbilt's probably one of, if not the best defender on the entire team, not to mention the most versatile defender, a guy that truly can defend 1 through 4 on the court, something that no other player on their team, at least not healthy at the moment, maybe a Theo in a year's time or so, is able to do on their entire team. So now Jared Vanderbilt, and having a healthy and the best version of Jared Vanderbilt, that might be something to consider for their opening game lineup. I mean, at this point, they're not looking very good on defense, and that's without Luka Doncic, LeBron, and Austin, who are not particularly great defenders, at least not guys that are going to take on a tough defensive matchup. So apart from them, are you going to have Rui Hachimura do it? I mean, he kind of was forced to do that last season and wasn't particularly great at doing it. Between himself and or Austin Reeves, they weren't great defensively. Not terrible per se, but definitely not the best fit to take on a tough defensive matchup. So you probably don't want to make them fill that role again for your team. And now with Marcus Smart kind of recovering, he's not currently hurt per se, at least not with a serious injury, but with him missing some time of training camp, with him missing some part of preseason and potentially more of it going forward, then he probably won't be the best candidate for it, purely from the lack of chemistry in their lineup, the lack of chemistry with the other guys that will be in the starting lineup. At that point, he'd probably be a better fit to come off the bench. I like the theoretical fit of him in the starting lineup, is a versatile defensive option himself, is the better and more proven offensive option, whether you're talking about playmaking ability, ball handling ability, three-point shooting. All of that compared to Vanderbilt, he is better offensively, even though he's not great himself. But with him not being healthy at this current moment, at least not, fully cleared to be doing 5-on-5 contact work and be playing with the team at a full kind of participation level, then it might fall to Jared Vanderbilt simply from availability, which is kind of weird to talk about with Jared Vanderbilt, but it's great to see him finally healthy again. So if you're asking me, yes, I do think he will be and should be up for consideration for their starting lineup, but I don't think it's definitive quite yet. I don't think it's confirmed or anywhere near being confirmed by JJ Redick. In fact, I don't even think he cares that much about it. Again, with them changing often throughout last season, with him having many different options for it, I don't think that he's really putting that much stock into it. In fact, I think the closing lineup is much more important than their starting lineup. But yes, I do think Vanderbilt will be and should be a consideration for it, mainly in regard to their defense and trying to improve it. Not only that, but balancing out their defense and offense throughout their entire rotation. I think Vanderbilt would be a pretty decent option for it, especially if he can maintain or improve his three-point shooting. That's another factor to weigh in here too. I mean, we have seen it look a little bit better throughout the early portion of training camp and preseason so far, mainly in regard to the shooting motion, not the actual results quite yet, only being 1 for 6 in 2 games throughout preseason, but the one shot they did make looked pretty good. I think the improved shooting motion is the real thing. I think the confidence there with him, and hopefully he will be able to improve upon that throughout the entire regular season. And if he can. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.